Okay, this is a demonstration of how to go about adding medications to the drop-downs within the CDEMS application, and also how to go about editing the medications that are available. So we'll go ahead and open up the application. And the medications module is still currently under development, so there's not at this time a utility to go about adding or editing the medications. So we'll look at the back-end table in the registry that holds that information and walk you through editing that table so that your medication drop-downs are appropriate and what you're looking for. Okay, so in this sample data file we have one patient, patient with diabetes. I'm going to click on the Edit tab and then the Edit Medications button. Okay, so we can see that this patient has a prescription for insulin that was started on today's date, December 8th. However, that's all we know about that medication, and we'd like to know more, such as what specific brand or generic name that insulin is, the strength of that prescription, the units, and so forth. So in the medication name column, we've got a drop-down. I'm going to click on that drop-down, and this displays all of the insulins within the registry, including one that I just added called medication name for the purpose of a demo to show you how this works. The drop-down information that you see here, all of this information is stored in a back-end table called TLKP medlist, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. But if we click on this, you'll see that it populates that medication listing with all of the information that we had available in that drop-down. So, and if we close, it saves all of that information automatically. So what we'll do, we'll take a look at TLKP medlist together and talk about ways in which you can modify that and try to help you make sure that you understand how that table works so that you can make these changes on your own. So I'm going to push F11 on the keyboard, and we opened up a view of the back-end tables in the registry, and here's the TLKP med list. So I'll double-click that to open the table. Okay. Now you can see record of everything that's in this table, and for the sake of the demo we'll just focus on insulin, and I'll filter on that so we can hone in on that a little easier. So here's that drop down that we just added to this particular patient. This would be the particular name of the insulin, the brand name, the generic name, and so forth. If there's an other name that it happens to go by, you can note that. And also the purpose of the medication, this one's for diabetes, and the strength and the units. So if we were adding a new medication for insulin, we can simply key in the information, and as you key that into the table, it's saved automatically. So I'll go ahead and close this table, and we'll take a look again at the medication drop-down for insulin. Okay, so here's the new insulin that we just typed in, and if we were changing that medication to this one instead of the previous, we can go ahead and update that as is appropriate. And the important thing to note is that the TLKP med list is local to the data file. So if data standardization is an important concern, which it seems to be, you would want to make sure that each data file being used out there has the same medication drop-downs. So it would be an exercise of talking with a set of providers and so forth and gaining some consensus on what the medications would be and which medications you want to have displayed and so forth. The medications in here right now are simply based on feedback that we've received from one particular provider we've been working with. That does not mean that they can't be changed for your use. If you found that these particular insulins were not what you were looking for, you can simply highlight them, delete them, and if we go back again to the medication drop-down for insulin, now you can see what we're left with are the only two in that table that we did not delete. So it's quite easy to specify and modify the types of medications that are included. Probably the most arduous part of that would be gaining consensus on what you want to have available in the registry. We're always available to help with questions if you happen to have any, and we hope that this basic overview of how that medication list works is helpful to you.